This is insane, friends. I don't know whose side these guys are on, but they've just handed President Trump a golden opportunity, and President Trump is saying he's going to take it. We got whole agencies about to be cut. It's going to be, they're going to squeal like you haven't heard them squeal in quite some time. We're already seeing massive cuts to green infrastructure projects in blue states. We got two planes colliding in New York we need to talk about. The United States about to provide deep missile strike info that could start World War III. And Greta Thunberg is back in the news, getting arrested again. AI about to be uploaded to your home devices without your consent, what you need to know about that. And a surprising warning about something you may not have even thought about. That and more on today's update. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Poplar Report. I'm Steve Poplar. I'm an accountant by trade, and these are your updates that you guys are sending in from all over. If you have something to share, make sure you use the word update somewhere in your comment. That gets it to the right place. We do want to thank our sponsor, Genesis Gold Group. They help people with retirement accounts to get out of stocks and bonds. If you think stocks and bonds are great for your retirement plan, then okay. But if you want to be in precious metals have outperformed the S&P 500 by quite a bit. So, if you want to stay ahead of inflation, precious metals might be a place to be. If you want to find out what it would look like to get physical precious metals in your retirement account, Jonathan and his team would love to talk to you. There'll be a link at the end of the video. All right, the FBI has announced that it will cut all ties with the Anti-Defamation League, especially since it now spends most of its time defaming people, which is ironic if you say, or hypocritical, depending on how cynical you are. People like Charlie Kirk, that they said was an extremist and a hater. Now, why is this important? Well, the FBI was partnered up with the Anti-Defamation League, and people that they said were hate speech people or haters and extremists, they were actually providing that in info, in training to law enforcement officers. The FBI says, we're done with that. We're not going to be letting you talk to our officers anymore about who's a bad guy. Because we've had for many years the law enforcement turning over every rock looking for right-wing extremists. And the only right-wing extremists they seem to come up with are people that, low IQ people that they actually convinced to do the crimes that they're being charged with. How many times have we seen the charges thrown out because the law enforcement agents that were there to investigate were the ones who actually instigated? It's called entrapment, right? And so many times that has happened. 200, almost 300 FBI agents in the crowd on J6, right? I mean, that's just insane. All right, we had an earthquake yesterday over in Istanbul. Now, this is after the deadly Philippines earthquake and deadly Indonesian earthquakes. Istanbul, no damage or fatalities that we're hearing of just yet, but we'll keep an eye on that. But the world is waking up geologically. We said that this was probably going to happen due to the solar activity above. The solar activity above impacts how things move on the crust, and really it lubricates the plates and gets them moving. And we're in that season where the plates are moving more. And, if you live near volcanoes or whatever, you need to be aware of that kind of stuff. All right, the Trump administration has moved to cut green woke projects and holding back billions of dollars of New York City infrastructure project money. So basically, when the Democrats, the Schumer shutdown happened, they said, no, we're going to use the shutdown as leverage to get a bunch of stuff that we want. They want to be kids in the candy store, right? And they think they have all this leverage. So they shut down the government. There's no budgets. There's no authorizations from Congress to spend money. So President Trump can just take projects and just kill them. He can kill projects. He can kill agencies. This is in Trump's own words. I have a meeting today with Russ Vought. This was yesterday. He of Project 2025 fame to determine which of the many Democrat agencies, most of which are a political scam. He recommends that he recommends to be cut, and whether or not those cuts will be temporary or permanent. I can't believe the radical left Democrats gave me this unprecedented opportunity. They are not stupid people, so maybe this is their way of wanting to, quietly and quickly, make America great again. President DJT. Yeah, I mean, that's really the amount of it. Is I'm kind of stunned at that, I'm stunned, one, that the Democrats handed him this opportunity, and two, I'm actually pretty stunned that any Republican would have the gumption to actually do this. I am very happy, very pleased that President Trump is literally saying there's no budget, there's no authorization for any spending whatsoever. So how can I, as president, presume that these agencies, that these departments should still exist? Congress didn't say that they should exist, so maybe we just need to lay all these people off. And if Congress then refunds these agencies or departments, well, then he might just have to hire all new people. And all these union members are laid off all simultaneously. And there's really not much that the courts can really do against that. Like, how can you not lay people off if you don't have any funding? If your business doesn't have any money, like how do you keep employees? You can't. So this will be very interesting the coming days. Doesn't look like the Democrats want to back down right now. President Trump seems to be hanging this over their head as a threat, but the Democrats don't seem to be coming around. So hopefully President Trump carries through on this threat and starts axing whole agencies and whole departments. All right, Israel has stopped Greta Thunberg on the high seas. Again, of how dare you fame. They've detained the activists of this humanitarian flotilla. I guess they were trying to deliver cupcakes or something like that to Gaza. A bunch of countries are really upset about this or something. I don't know. A bunch of entitled, rich, spoiled brats decided to get on some sailing ships and try to get to Gaza or something. I'm not really sure what they're trying to accomplish other than get arrested, and so it gives an opportunity for these countries to get upset. I don't know. All right, 2 planes collided on the ground at New York's LaGuardia Airport. One person was injured with non-life-threatening injuries. Both of them were operated by a Delta subsidiary. One was arriving, one was trying to depart when they went, boom, right into each other. New York, it's just, why does everything always seem to happen in New York? That's, they don't seem to be having their act together very much. Newark Airport is an absolute disaster, and LaGuardia doesn't seem to be much better. If you've ever been to JFK, I've sat on the tarmac so long waiting for a gate at JFK. It's crazy. All right, USA has agreed to provide that Eastern European country with intelligence for deep missile strikes into Bear Country. Now, this is problematic because if the United States is providing that intelligence, targeting data essentially, how does that not make us party to the war? I mean, what happens if Russia then starts providing targeting data to the Houthis to attack the United States or United States ships? What happens if they give the locations of our carrier or warships as they go past Yemen, and they give them precise targets for their missiles to be shot at? I mean, isn't that fair game? I don't know. I don't know how you can be part of a fight but yet expect not to be hit. Google has announced that they will be infusing their Gemini generative AI into home gadgets. Okay, so they're going to sell gadgets with AI in them. No, that would be okay, I guess. You could decide whether you want that or not in your home, and that's up to you. But Google's displays, speakers, cameras, and doorbells bought over the past 10 years would all be affected. So if you have any Google smart products like displays, speakers, cameras, or doorbells, and you have to imagine that we're also talking about tablets and phones, Android phones, and laptops. They want to put artificial intelligence on all your devices, and they plan on doing so without really telling you, without getting your consent. Might want to make sure that you, your family, and your friends are up to date with what Google is going to do to your devices. If you have an Android device, if you have Chrome, be aware of these changes. All right, John says, I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. Eggs are almost all sold out here. Is anyone else seeing egg issues out there? Are you seeing eggs disappearing off your store shelves? I haven't heard that from most people. So put that one as it could be just a one-off in that area. But let me know. Make sure you use the word update if you're seeing egg issues where you are. Of course, we're all a little bit sensitive about that, aren't we? Archie says, the trick to figuring out the best price for toilet paper. Okay, here, this is their answer to toilet paper math. Take the cost and divide it by this total square footage on the package. This will help compare the best price. So using the square footage seems to be the way to do that. Now, of course, different toilet papers have different thicknesses, but just go by the square footage. And then I guess you can just kind of eyeball it by how much toilet paper you use on any given incident, right? All right, Calbert says, regarding missing stock on the store shelves, at least for Walmart, this is an important update here. Walmart Corporate sent out a memo stating that they were eliminating at least 20 different ingredients in their American-made great value products. Boxed foods, frozen foods, canned foods, and some cleaning products, plus more. The memo said that this was their effort to remaining in compliance with FDA, USDA, and HHS mandates about artificial ingredients. So basically, they've been told that they need to be taking a bunch of these chemicals out. They can't be using them, dyes, all this kind of stuff. Well, they're using a lot of those, including, we'll get to that. In Calvert's humble opinion, they're not reordering, and it's taking their great value brand suppliers time to adjust the formulas on the ingredient lists to those products. One of the ingredients banned by RFK and the HHS, the Health and Human Services Department, right, is an ingredient in the liner of their canned foods. All right, so the canned goods are going to have a problem because in basically all of the great value cans, they have this banned product. So that is going to mean that canned goods are going to be impacted across the country. It also makes you wonder whether you should have those great value canned goods in the first place. All right, the cereals are loaded with one of the 10 dyes that are now banned. Now, if Walmart is preparing now for the banned food ingredients, it's safe to assume other major brands and retailers are going to be doing the same. This redo is adding insult to injury due to logistics issues and food acquisition and cartage. So be aware, friends, that you could see great value and cheap options on the shelves disappear or have serious stocking issues, not just at Walmart, but at these other grocery stores as well. That is a Watchmen exclusive here. You're only hearing that on this channel. So be aware that especially canned goods could see some pretty big upsets. And no word if that can ingredient is being used in other generic cans but I assume that that's probably the case. So Kroger generics are probably using it too. Aldi cans may be using it. Aldi actually tends to be a little bit better than these other places like Walmart when it comes to chemicals and stuff. PNW Farming, that's I believe Pacific Northwest, went to my local IGA store last night to get a gallon of milk. Didn't buy it last week when I needed to. All the milk in the store, fat-free, 1%, 2%, and whole milk were all dated to expire 10/3. That I was there on the 1st. Bought a half gallon instead, as I will go to my local Costco soon. But watch your dates, friends. Yeah, just 2 days to expiration for your milk is not much time, is it? Sandra says, Monday's livestock, baby newborn calves selling for $1,500 each. Yes, $1,500 each for newborn calves. Get prepared now. Meat prices are about to skyrocket. This is Western Michigan. All right, friends, heads up on that one. Is anyone else seeing calf newborns going for insane amounts? Let us know down in the comments down below. What are you guys seeing with live cattle prices? All right, we'll be tracking that more and get you the latest on that in a little bit. Ann says Mayor of New Orleans has had federal charges brought against her. Really? A Democrat in a blue city getting charged with federal charges? That's unheard of. It's listed that New Orleans is one of the top murder cities in the USA. It moved from the top down to 3rd place. The top murder city now is St. Louis, Missouri. I imagine that's per capita. And in the top 10 was another Missouri city, Kansas City. So Missouri, we're looking at you guys. You might need to activate some National Guard or something. What was she charged with, the mayor of New Orleans? Wire fraud and obstructing justice. Because that's basically the Democratic Party platform, wire fraud and obstructing justice. They should just put that on their badges and stuff. Lisa says, yes, every store like Lowe's, Home Depot, and Walmart have a lot of storage containers stacked up everywhere. You normally see that after Christmas, but we're seeing that right now. What does that mean? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below. What's up with all the storage containers? Also, we're seeing bookings from Asia to the West Coast are way down. A lot less goods are flowing in. Now, you could say that's the tariffs. You could say that's basically because the U.S. economy is slowing down. People just aren't purchasing as much. I don't know about you guys, but I found myself purchasing a lot less in the last number of months, too. We're all just kind of tightening up our belts and asking the question, does stuff really make us happy? And the answer is, no, not really, right? Solotap says, local grocery store in central Minnesota. Campbell's soup jumped from $1.25 to $3.50 overnight. It seems convenient to hike the prices up right before the cold and flu season. Looks like I'll need to make chicken noodle soup in bulk in lieu of the price hike. That's right, friends. Any money that you save by doing something at home, think about this. That's tax-free income, okay? Tax-free income. It's not a penny saved, a penny earned. It is a penny saved is $1.25, $1.50 earned because it's tax-free, right? Yellowstone says, I've noticed in all of the Dollar Trees in Montana that the shampoo and hair care sections have shrunk this last 2 months substantially. They used to be one side of an entire aisle. Now it's maybe 3 or 4 feet. August Blue says, always wash your cantaloupe and watermelon, and this goes for other fruits as well. Wash the outsides of them. And you may be saying, why? Why do I have to wash the outsides? Because the knife will carry anything on the surface into the fruit. So think about that. The pesticides and chemicals on the outside of the fruit, if you slice it, your knife is touching that outside and it's carrying it down into it. Is it the same amount as you licking the outside? Probably not. But especially with things that you're going to hold in your hands as you eat, you're getting that all over your hands too. There's a lot of stuff getting put on our fruit. Be aware that maybe you might want to be washing more things than you're used to washing. You have to wash more things off of the food that you're eating than your grandparents did. That's just the truth, right? More chemicals are being used than ever before. All right, friends, thanks so much for joining with us. If you want to get some more information from Genesis Gold about what you can do with your retirement account, there's a link right there on the screen. If you want to get some more, if you want to check out another video from this channel, there's one right up here. It's usually the latest one posted right there. Thanks so much for watching. Steve Poplar of the Poplar Report out.